Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial, and today I'm going to be talking about STEM Inc. and some of the recent price movements associated with it. Historically, STEM has moved very aggressively in relation to the broader market. In particular, I always kind of track it against SPY. Admittedly, it probably would tie in a little bit closer to a lot of ETFs that track clean energy. Thank you for pointing some of those ETFs out in the Discord, Lawless Peninsula. So, quick shout out to him. But one of the things that I would call out is the company is currently sitting at just under $14 a share here after hours, and it has gone on a fairly steady decline over the past week, really following up on the FOMC meetings from last week and the subsequent decline in options activity that we saw on Friday that's led to a decline in pricing for the overall market since this past Thursday. Now, again, STEM has moved pretty aggressively during that point in time, coming down from levels of $16, $17 a share and coming back down to where it is now below $14 a share. So it definitely spiked up there. It had that strong earnings report, and that was coming on the back of the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act, which had a significant number of climate change initiatives, which pointed towards quite a bit of money coming to clean energy. That being said, something we've talked about since that point in time is the price of the stock was in between that $8.50 to $9 range before going up as high as $17 a share. So something that I would call out, as it's currently sitting at $14 a share, is where is it going to go now? So one thing that I would highlight is that I definitely said repeatedly, do not chase the rip when the entire market is moving like that, because you can get caught when it does that pullback. Now, the stock has been pulling back, but unfortunately, I think we still have quite a ways to go. Something that I would call out is the SEC filings, in which case you can see a number of insider buy-sell trades since they announced earnings. There are also a number of insider buy-sell trades directly before earnings. Unfortunately, none of these are very positive in relation to STEM shares. When these stocks skyrocketed, the insiders sold. Anywhere from directors to the CEO, the CFO, pretty much anyone who had material amounts of shares were selling during that point in time. Now, insider activity is not always directly representative of negative price action in the stock. However, I would highlight that that is a lot of individuals that is pointing to saying, hey, we don't think that this is a move that we want to stay in at that point in time. The company's market capitalization is still nearly $1 billion higher from where it was about a month to a month and a half ago, and the price to equity ratio is significantly higher. Some key moves that were also made is there was a fund that owned STEM shares, and that fund was managed by George Soros. Admittedly, it was a very small position, and I don't think that it was necessarily managed by Soros himself, as opposed to one of his key individuals who manages his fund. Something that we've seen increase exponentially since earnings was the short interest. Admittedly, this is something that it is providing the percentage as of the end of July. So the shares outstanding are staying relatively flat at this point in time, but the stock overall continues to be on a decline, and I think that under higher interest rates and a lack of good news in the market economy right now, you're seeing that downward pressure on STEM. Something that's important to watch, and what I will be looking for, is where do we see a key level of support come back into play. You can see that there was quite a bit of upward support here at that $10 mark, so I'll be interested to see if we drop all the way back down there, at which point in time I would think would be an excellent entry position. However, you can see that we also saw at the 1250 mark back in April, and we saw a spike up here in early August. Again, I'm by no means a technical trader. This is just me looking at a chart and providing my opinion, and I'm by no means a financial advisor, so take that as you will. This is a stock that continued to show very strong earnings. However, whenever you see a big move like that, you have to recognize that some of it could come back down, especially when we're looking at and evaluating it against the broader market moves in SPY, in QQQ, especially the tech-heavy indices. I think that we're going to continue to see some downward pressure, especially pending the commentary from Jerome Powell at Jackson Hole later this week. So we've got some big earnings, we've got some big moves. I would expect it to slow down a little bit, but still by no means chase some of these moves. Just let them move, and if we start to see a little bit more downward pressure, I'm going to be looking to do some cash secured puts, primarily targeting that $10 range. Again, this is just my opinion, but if you find this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.